What's up, fellow Saiyans, and welcome back to another Marvel United Minipaints. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm glad to get back at it. Today we're going to be doing Sunspot, aka Roberto da Costa. He's a part of the New Mutants. He's also on the new X-Men 97 show. He's like a newer member of the X-Men. His powers are to channel solar energy, and he can make his body like invulnerable, as well as super. He adds super strength as well. And to start him off, we're gonna take a mix of barbarian flesh with fur brown to make his skin tone. Get his face, and then overdo his hands. Should take about 2 coats of this, 2 to 3. Next up, we're going to be using matte black. We're going to use this for his hair. Being that this is only the second color we're using, and it's not affecting any other colors, it's not as bad to work with. It kind of sucks when you got to apply it over right next to something else with black. Next up, we're going to use crusted sore. We're going to use this for the base. Once we have that finished, we're going to hop over to the red parts of his costume, and we're going to use dragon red for that. And usually with this, it takes 2 to 3 coats before it has a nice even coverage on everything. You can see at this point I'm probably on a second coat of the I allow it to dry. By the time I go from one like the top of his chest and you get down to his legs, usually by the time you finish the legs, the chest is dry. And as you can see, his cowl, or like whatever you want to call that he wears over his eyes, So you have 3 different parts to paint. So if you do it, you know, 1, 2, 3, you should be back to 1. Like the first coat of where you painted should be dry by then. Next, I'm going to use skeleton bone, and I'm going to use that as like the thing he's coming off of. I don't know what it's like, an explosion or whatever, but I'm going to turn it into like what his power looks like with the yellow with the black spots in it. But first, I'm going to use this to brighten up the explosion. Next, using matte white for his eyes. After we finish with that, it's time to add the blue to his costume, and for that we're going to use crystal blue. Now we're going to use demonic yellow for, he has that like collar around his neck, or like right at the top part of his costume, and then around his hands there's like little yellow wristbands as well. Now I'm going to use this Folk Art Glow Yellow paint for the explosion. And like any of these glow paints are very liquidy. They don't tend to, like the first coat's kind of very transparent. So you got to add like 5 coats of this. So I'm just going to add 1 quick coat all over the other primed color I used for it. Once that's finished, I'm going to go and take my little detail brush and I'm going to start going over everything on the base colors just to trim everything up, make it look all nice, and get it prepared for the washing process that comes next. I'll also add another couple coats of the glow yellow to the explosion. You can see it's slowly getting more transparent, or opposite. You're able to see it better. So once it's dried out, it's time to start the washing process. We're going to use Flesh Wash for his skin, so we're going to use that for the face and the hands. Now for his costume, we're going to use Soft Tone. Now for the base, we're going to use Strong Tone. You're just going to spread this all out on the base, all around the explosion. And next is the Dark Tone for his hair. And after we're finished with this, you gotta let them sit there dry for a long time. And then we could start highlighting. While it dries, I'm gonna add another layer of this glow paint. I started making the glow paint go somewhat up his leg. Now here I'm just going to add a white back over the eyes because the wash kind of diluted it a bit. Now I'm going to throw a little bit of mummy robes in with the skin color that we used to add a lighter color. I'm going to use this flatter detail brush to kind of dry brush highlights on the skin. Next, we're going to go, since we had the wash made the original crystal blue a little darker, so we're going to use just crystal blue by itself. And we're going to go back over the original crystal blue. We're going to dry brush that. Also adding another layer of the glow paint. And now for the red highlights, we're going to use pure red. Same method as what I did for the other ones. I also used the crystal blue in his hair as well. So the original crystal blue wasn't quite doing it for me when it came to it wasn't bright enough. So I switched over to Void Shield blue. And I'm going to use that over top of it. Add another layer of the glow paint. And now for the highlights for the base, where that crusted soarer was. We're going to use Warlock Purple. We're going to dry brush this onto the base. And as you can see here, I used the matte black to make sort of like dots. And this is going to complete my Sunspot. He looks well under this lighting, but you'll see in the horrible zoom up lighting I have in the next frame, it looks kind of shoddy, but it looks better in like lower lighting like this. Like, I'm pretty pleased on how he turned out. I could have did a little better, I think, but you know, you win some, you lose some. But I'd like to thank you guys all for watching. If you like this, subscribe, get notified of new episodes when they come out. You know, I can't promise them all the time, but I'm trying to get there, trying to get them out more now. I'm less busy, so more of these should be coming out. But as always, thanks for watching, and later, Saiyans.